it's really recording. So I just finished watching the video. Right off the bat, you could tell that they're responding more to the norms. They are collaborating more. Uh, I saw that John, he is still participating, even though he's not like actually reading. He's more auditory because we know that his reading level is really low. Inyaki is still like leading the group in a way. He's a little higher. Krishan is a little reluctant, but like he's not as resistant when you like call on him, and once you like guide him into like what he's supposed to do, he'll get to it. Um, for the lesson itself, I would recommend. It was good that you had the definition of theme on the paper printed out for them. You reviewed what the definition of theme was. You gave them examples. Um, Another thing we could do is like we could give them the topic to focus on and then develop a theme from that topic. Um, Having them read the chapter is always a plus. But if you want to like drive in a concept or something, there's times where like you can like reread what they read out loud for them, just in case like you could tell them like the first time we're reading it, it's just for like just to listen. The second time we read it, we're looking for a specific concept, and then the third time we read it, we should have a really good idea of what happened and kind of like just drive it in.
Yeah.
So like the three reads, all that.
Okay.
What else? Any questions for me?
Um, I did notice that the norms work well. Yes, I'd like to kind of know how I can shift them towards like student centered where they're collaborating a little more. Um, it's an area where I'm a little not as comfortable with because I've tried it before and then they kind of go all around the place. So I was thinking about how can I get them to collaborate together? Like you guys talk about this amongst yourselves.
You could give them. You could do think, pair, share,
Mm-hmm.
where like you give them a guiding question and you tell them they're gonna share a whole group.
Yeah.
You could give them roles as you're reading, so like almost like a lit circle, a
Mm-hmm.
literature circle. So you can have one person focused on summarizing what happened. You can have another one focused on like vocabulary. Have another one focused on like making questions for the
Uh-huh.
group. So kind of give them tasks while they read.
Okay.
Um, you could look at it that way. Um, you can like pose questions before, and like kind of like raise your hand if you agree with this statement, raise your hand if you disagree with this statement, and kind of like get them to talk about their stances.
Mm-hmm.
Um, have them develop the theme together.
Okay.
Like if it was
Something like that.
about theme, yeah. If it's not about theme, it could be something else. Um, yeah, I guess it kind of just depends on the lesson.
Okay.
But there's ways to build in collaboration, but it's always better like to be intentional with it. Um, and in a smaller group, it kind of happens like
Organically.
yeah, because there's only like what 3-4 of them.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yeah. So then I noticed once they have more time to reflect and they started sharing much more in these small groups than they have in the past. So I really love that. I just want to try to also think about the kind of questions where they connecting it to the real world and like their personal experiences. Sometimes I kind of struggle with, okay, what question should I ask to where they're really critically thinking about the content and saying, hey, what does this mean to me? You know?
it could also be like a prompt,
Okay.
like the for the do now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could gear the do now towards whatever the lesson's going to be about. Um, Kind of like set the tone. And I mean, obviously it's different, right? Because you're pulling a small group
Yeah.
during that time, as opposed to like when it's like you're going to be the teacher in front of the whole class. You
Mm-hmm.
kind of have more like brain
Mm-hmm.
on how you want to do things.
Yeah.
It's all about how you structure the class.
Okay.
Right.
All right. I really like reading the novels with them and doing the second reads and, like you said, highlighting the content so that they can actually focus, kind of guiding them towards the content to see if it's theme, if it's, main idea, whatever it is, to kind of put those thoughts in their head. I like the fact that just pulling out what they learned from previous chapters, in terms of the same instruction. So that's pretty good. My last thing is that the fidgets, I kind of need to like set more boundaries or guidelines with the fidgets because sometimes they're just tossing them and then, or they're throwing them in. And I'm thinking, how can I just say, okay, with the fidgets, we're just gonna use them in our hands only, not in the air, or, I'm thinking about that because sometimes the fidgets become a huge distraction.
Yes, definitely. And it's also hard because like that's not our classroom, right? Like
True.
That's Mr. Tabone and Mr. Tabone's classroom, and those are their fidgets.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could have done better too at setting a precedent on like how to handle those fidgets, because I did it.
Mm-hmm.
We just went. I was looking for a space. That room was available, so we go in there, and they're gonna grab whatever is available.
Yeah.
As also, having the right space, dealing with the space. We're going to be moving to the new school, so hopefully we can have a little more structure in that regard, and we can like set up the environment the way we want, and we don't have to like share space.
Yeah, I love that they can use those. I was thinking about, just how I could set, because I was thinking even today about, like they're just, all around. And I'm like, I gotta set some guidelines. If you roll them in your hand, just as long as they're not in the air, I think that'd be guideline number one.
Yeah, don't throw it and don't hit anybody. That's basically it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate your help. Thanks. Was I supposed to hang up?
Yeah.
Then how can I save the video? It'll be there?